wildlife resources. What are the major threats to soil as a resource? Answer: soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to the soil as a resource. Question number 2. What method of soil conservation is used in coastal and dry region? Answer: shelter belt are used to protect the soil in coastal and dry region. Question number 3. What percent of fresh water is fit for human use? Answer: only 1% of the fresh water is available and fit for human use. Question number 4. What make the soil fertile? Answer: the right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. Question number 5. What affect the rate of humus formation? Answer: flora and fauna microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation. Question number 6. What is the ocean water not fit for human consumption? Answer: the ocean water is saline, hence it is not fit for human consumption. Question number 7. What is the soil? Answer: the thin layer of grainy substances covering the surface of the earth is called soil. Question number 8. Which are the two main climatic factors responsible for soil formation? Answer: temperature and rainfall are the two main climatic factors responsible for soil formation. Number 9. Which method is most appropriate to check soil erosion and steep slopes? Answer: terrace farming is the most appropriate method to check soil erosion and steep slopes. Question number 10. What do you mean by shelter belt? Answer: rows of trees planted in the coastal areas to check the wind movement is called shelter belt. Question number 11. How are forests classified on the basis of latitude? Answer: forests are classified as a tropical or temperature based on their location in different latitude. Question number 12. What are the major types of the vegetation in the world? The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grassland. Question number 13. How are vulture important to the environment? Answer: vultures, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. Question number 14. What percentage of earth is covered by land? Answer: land covers only about 30% of the total areas of the earth surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not inhabitable. Question number 15. What is a national park? Answer: national park is area, a natural area designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystem for present and future generations. Question number 16. How is soil formed? Answer: soil is made up of organic matter and minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering. Question number 17. What is the weathering? Answer: weathering is the breaking up and decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes, frost, action, plants, animals, and man. Question number 18. Why are plains and rivers valley densely populated? Answer: plains and rivers valley offer suitable land for agriculture. Hence, these are the densely populated area of the world. Question number 19. Why Ganga Brahmaputra plain of India is an overpopulated region? Answer: Ganga Brahmaputra plain of India is an overpopulated region because it has even topography and highly fertile soil. Question number 20. What are the different types of soil found in India? Answer. Different types of soil found in India are alluvial, black and red, latrine, desertic, and mountain soil. Question number 21. Why is fresh water the most precious substances on earth? Answer. The fresh water is the most precious substances on the earth because only 1% of the fresh water is available and fit for human use. Question number 22. What is the rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting is the process of collecting rainwater from rooftops and directing it to an appropriate location and storing it for future use. Question number 23. Write any two reasons for land degradation today. Answer. Reason for land degradations are: number one, deforestation; number two, overuse of chemical fertilizers; and question number 24. What has led to large scale destruction of forest cover and arable land? Answer. Growing population and their ever growing demand has led to a large scale destruction of forest cover and arable land. Question number 25. How to prevent surface runoff? Answer. Forest and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. Question number 26. Suggest one way to control water pollution. Answer. Water pollution can be controlled by treating sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents suitably before releasing them in water bodies. Question number 27. What is the intercropping? Answer. Intercropping is a multiple cropping practice in which different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. Question number 28. Why Earth is called water planet? Answer. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. Three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. Question number 29. What is a biosphere? Answer. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of the contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere that we call biosphere. Question number 30. What do you mean by ecosystem? Answer. The biosphere living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem. Question number 31. What is termed as land use? Answer. Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. This is commonly termed as land use. Question number 32. Why land is considered an important resource? Answer. Land is considered an important resource because it is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. Question number 33. Which area are sparsely populated or inhabited? Answer. The rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, low-lying areas, susceptible to water logging, desert area, and thick forested area are normally sparsely populated or inhabited. Question number 34. How much land Earth is inhabited? Answer. 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of the land area, The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or inhabited. Question number 35. What are the major threats to the environment due to over exploitation of the resource? Answer. The land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and constructional activity. Question number 36. What are the reasons for water shortage? Answer. Water shortage may be consequences of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by overexploitation and contamination of water sources. Question number 37. What is the major cause of water pollution? Answer. Discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. The pollute water with nitrate, metals, and pesticide. Question number 38. What is a water cycle? Answer. Water is on constant motion, cycling through the ocean, the air, the land, the back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. This is referred to as the water cycle. Question number 39. What are the major factors affecting soil formation? The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and climatic factors. Other factors are the topography, role of the organic material, and time taken for the composition of the soil. Question number 40. What are the uses of water resource? Answer. Human use huge amount of Question number 41. What do you mean by private land, community land? Answer. Private land is owned by individual, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. These community land are also called the common property resource. Question number 42. Which countries in the world are facing water shortage? There is a scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most are African, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, part of the South America, and the entire Australia are facing the shortage in the fresh water supply. Number 43. What human factors determine land pattern, or what factor determine land use pattern? Answer. The use of land is determined by the physical factors such as topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of water. Human factors such as population and technology are also important determinant of land use pattern. Question number 44. What are the landslides and how do they occur? Answer. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris of earth, down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. Question number 45. Why water availability per person in India is declining? Answer. Increasing population, rising demands for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization, and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortages in supply of fresh water, either due to drying up of water source or water pollution. Question number 46. What are the reasons for the degradation of the soil? Soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to the soil as a resource. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. Factors which lead to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticide, rainwash, landslides, and floods. Question number 47. Differentiate between the tropical evergreen forest and deciduous forest. Tropical evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. Question number 48. Name any two steps that the government has taken to conserve plants and animals. Answer. The two steps that government has taken to conserve the plants and animals are: 1. It has set up national park, wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserves to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Number 2, it has banned the killing of lions, tiger, deers, great Indian bustard and peacock. Question number 49. Suggest three ways to conserve water. Answer. The way to conserve water: rainwater harvesting. Number 2, the should be properly lined to minimize losses of water seepage. And third, in dry region with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. Question number 50. In what forms is fresh water found on the earth? Answer. Fresh water accounts for only about 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountain region. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. Only 1% of the fresh water is available and fit for human use. It is found as groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. Question number 51. What do you know about CITES? Answer. CITES, the Conservation of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, is an international agreement between the government. It aims to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Roughly 5,000 species of animals and 28,000 species of plants are protected. Bears, dolphin, cacti, coral, orchid, and aloes are some examples. Number 52. Why there is an uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world? The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to the varied characteristics of land and climate. The rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, low-lying areas susceptible to water logging, and desert areas and thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or inhabited. Plains and rivers valley offer suitable land for agriculture, hence these are the densely populated area of the world. Question number 53. How does rainfall affect vegetation? Answer. In area of severe rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with the areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of trees and their density reduces. In the regions of the moderate rainfall, short-stemmed trees and grasses grow, forming the grassland of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny shrubs and scrub grow. In such area, plants have deep roots and leaves have thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration. Number 54. Why is wildlife important to us? Answer: wildlife is important to us because number one, they provide us milk, meat, hide, and wool. Number two, insect like bees provide us honey, help in pollinations of flowers, and have an important role to play as decomposer in the ecosystem. Number three, the birds feed an insect and act as a decomposer as well. Number four, vulture due to its ability to feed and dead livestock is an scavengers and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. Question number 55. What are the factors affecting soil formation? Answer: the factor affecting soil formation are parent rock. The parent rock determines color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content, and permeability of soil. Climate, temperature, and rainfall influence the rate of weathering and humus. Relief, altitude, and slope determine the accumulation of soil. Flora and fauna and microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation. Question number 56. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Comment. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Number one, plants provide us with a timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil, so essential for growing crops, act as a shelter belt, help in storage of underground water, give us fruits, nuts, latex, turbinine, oil, gum, medicinal plants, and paper. Number two, wildlife includes animal, birds, insect, as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hides, and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey, help in pollinations of flowers, and have an important role to play as a decomposer in the ecosystem. The birds feed on insect and act as a decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed and dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. Question number 58 suggests some methods of soil conservation. Answer: some methods of soil conservation are mulching. Mulching, the bare ground between the plant is covered with a layer organic matter like straw. It helps to retain the soil moisture. Number two, counter barriers. Counter barriers, stones, grasses, soil are used to build barriers along contours. Trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect water. Number three, rock dam. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. This prevents the gullies and further soil loss. And number four, the terrace farming are made up on the steep slopes so that the flat surface are available to grow crops. They can reduce the surface runoff and soil erosion. Number five, intercropping. It's different crops are grown in alternate rows and or sown at different times to protect the soil from rain wash. Number seven, counter flowing is a parallel to the counter of hill slope to the farm, a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. 8. Shelter belt. In the coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect the soil cover. Question number 59. What are the threats to the natural vegetation and wildlife? The threats to the natural vegetation wildlife are changes of climate and human interference can cause the loss of natural habitat. For the plants and animals, many species have become vulnerable or endangered, or some are on the verge of extinction. Number two, deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami, and landslides are some of the human made and natural factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. Number three, one of the major concern is the increasing incident of poaching that result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species.